You know, when you think of wide receivers in the 2024 NFL draft class, you think about Marvin Harrison Jr., Odunze, Malik Nabers, and about 10 to 15 more guys before you talk about the guy that I'm going to mention today. And that player's name is Javon Baker out of UCF. Javon was a 4-star recruit out of Georgia and started his college career at the University of Alabama. However, through 2 years, he would do nothing. Having 9 catches for $116 and a tutty, this would lead him to entering the transfer portal and joining the UCF Knights, where he would thrive in 2 seasons, gaining over 100 receptions, 1,900 yards, and 12 touchdowns. He would be named to the first team All-Big 12 this past season, and now is projected to be selected in the 4th round. And while that is fair given his college production, I think he can outproduce that projection. Javon Baker is a deep threat. On passes over 20 yards in the air, he ranks 12th in yards per route run, 16th in yak per reception, 14th in yards, 16th in yards per reception overall, and 4th in contested catch percentage. Baker is not the fastest man, at least in tights, but he was tracked as going 21 miles per hour in a game, so his game speed is much faster than what his combine numbers will tell you. He makes up for his, quote, lack of speed with his catch radius, as he has 32.25-inch arms, his contested catch abilities, and ball tracking down the field. He's able to high point the ball because of that catch radius, not being too short at 6'1" and weighing in at 202. Throughout last season, there were multiple times where something went wrong with the throw, and Baker had to get the ball up high, and his ability to get high and control his body allows him to make these catches, specifically against Boise State. This deep ball down the sideline, he's able to find the ball and distort his body in such a way that he can catch the contested ball and keep his feet in bounds down the sideline for a huge play for the Knights. The QB knows to throw it downfield to Baker. Now, he may have had to adapt given that the team's passing offense was 36th in the country. And the 2 quarterbacks that played this season were not great, not bad, but one of his biggest strengths is his adjustability to balls, so he can deal with that in the pros. Now, I want to take a look at this play from his own end zone. His ability to just out-jump and honestly outplay the defender. He first starts off with an inside release to throw the defender's hips off. He then cuts back outside for the fade, beats him down the sideline, and the quarterback puts the ball where only he could fight for it because of just his ludicrous radius. He is the best in the air ball adjustment of almost any wide receiver I've watched in college. Now, something that is not talked about enough with Javon Baker is his release off the line. Is it Devontae Adams-like? No. Is it still pretty goddamn good? Hell yeah, brother. He's able to deceive corners on all types of routes, using every type of approach. Baker is quick on his feet, so he can stagger them, make the cornerback think he's going to go one way, but change directions and cut in or out, depending on the route, of course. Some could say it's like Stevie Johnson at times, the way he dribbles between his legs and cuts. Shout out Mike Kennedy. Now check out this route against Cincinnati. While at times he could be impatient, he makes the corner test their own patience by seeing if he will bite on whatever move he makes on this slant. He releases outside to make the corner open up his hips so he can cut inside, have a wide open slant. Now this ball was terrible. I believe it was tipped. But again, his body control and adjustability come into fruition on this play. Also, look at the change of direction. He's able to spin out of contact, get a ton of yards after the catch. Now, one underrated skill for receivers is their eyes. Not the Kelly Oubre type of eyes, by the way. You have to deceive the defensive back with where you look. Javon is great at that. At times, he will look outside, so the corner will start to give outside coverage, allowing him to cut inside for a crosser, post, slant, in, dig, whatever. His route running is amazing because of this ability to deceive, and also due to his occupation of being a salesman. He sells his routes like he's asking you to buy chocolate under the sea. And please, someone tell me they get that reference. The way he is able to do this by assaulting leverage and faking what direction he's going to run his route, and doing it multiple times throughout a route. He brings in all of his skills, including his amazing release package to do so. Javon will begin on the outside, then attack you down the field, using his eyes and hands to sell outside, and cut in when you're least expecting it, decelerating to stop on a dime and attack the ball with his hands. Corners panic when they are guarding his routes. Check out the sail route against Boise State. He pulls out 3 different types of moves here. He releases outside a little bit, allowing the corner to stay even with him, but he shifts inside, makes the corner think that an outside release was happening, decelerates, and cuts outside for the sail route. His subtle movements on not just this route, but all of them, to sell them, are just impeccable. His quick feet help a lot on these types of routes. However, I think the eyes may be the most important part of his route running. This route in the Gasparilla Bowl, hard word, is simple, but it is open because of how he's using his vision. He's a straight release, but is looking towards the outside of the field, causing the defender to lean that way, allowing him an easy cut to the inside for a catch that shouldn't be that difficult, but it was thrown behind him. And he knows how to break off the route at the last possible second in the best way possible, so that the defensive back has no idea what's going to happen. Then his active hands pluck that ball out of the air. So he's always the first to go after that football. Guys, quick stop to the video. I just want to mention my Discord channel. If you want to join an NFL community with engaged fans, check the link in the description below. So I've been kind of glazing Javon Baker, who's just a day 2 to 3 prospect. So what makes him a late round pick? Well, it takes a lot for him to get into his stride. While he's great at decelerating, he doesn't have the best acceleration. It takes him a while to hit his top speed, which makes sense as to why his 40 was not as fast as he shows on some film. He does kind of make up for this when he gets downfield, hence why he is such a deep threat, but it'll help a lot if you get to his top speed a lot quicker. Another thing about his deep ball skills that actually is a negative and is a two-parter is the amount of catches he has to make. While he's a great route runner and has amazing releases, Javon needs to be able to fight through defensive back contact and fight with his hands more. That way, he can create more separation on those deep routes and not be forced to attempt all these sideline hospital contested grabs. I think if he gains a little more weight and gets into the DeAndre Hopkins or Devontae Adams range of around 215, that would help him a lot. Those two receivers' ability to fight through contact is great, and I think Javon can learn a lot modeling his frame after them. Being a physical receiver helps a lot when your specialty is going deep down the field. But as of right now, he just cannot maintain the physicality that he has seen in college. We'll see a lot more of at the NFL level. And at his frame, he won't be able to block against the run at a productive level. That also involves coaching technique, not just his frame. Another thing, at times, his mind just isn't there on some plays. Whether he just attacks a ball wrong, lets it go off of his hands, or is impatient with the route, he'll let his mind take over from time to time. When he does this, he takes too many steps on routes, causing it to be choppy, leading to a bad rep, incomplete pass, or just a negative result. And going off of that, his last big weakness was his drop rate. At both seasons at UCF, it was over 10%. Most are just concentration drops relating to what I was just talking about, which is really just fixed with like the jug machine and focusing on the ball, not trying to just go after the catch immediately, but it is for sure something to worry about. And I don't do player comps, but I will say the teams I think could ground him around 3, 4, or 5. Those teams include the Pittsburgh Steelers, Dallas Cowboys, Baltimore Ravens, Carolina Panthers, and the Buffalo Bills. My two favorites are the Bills and Steelers, both wide receiver needy teams. Buffalo could double down round 1 with a guy like A.D. Mitchell, Brian Thomas, or whoever, a mid-round pick of Javon Baker. Steelers for sure go defensive back in the first round, then grab Baker later on in the draft. Javon has his strengths, a great deep threat with great contested catching ability and good route running. But to be great at the NFL level, he has to win against physicality and focusing on fixing the mental errors of his game. And with all that being said, that is it for me, guys. Thank you for tuning into Fanatic Sports. If you liked the video, come on, give a like, subscribe to the channel. All support is very much appreciated. Also, follow me on Instagram at FanaticSports25, on X at Fanatic Sports, and on TikTok at Fanatic Sports. This is Joe of Fanatic Sports, signing off.